With the organizations you've worked with, does anyone do fire drills, incident response before a real incident has happened?
Yeah, so I can tell you from past employers that we definitely have practiced that a lot more after the breach because you kind of got the exposure of what it was like to go through one. Now, we were pretty lucky because we had plans in place already. We had an incident response center internally that we could report the problem to. They were able to have forensic data almost immediately to tell them what was going on. We could understand effectively what had been compromised, and because this was at RSA and this is public knowledge, so we don't have to edit this out. But they because they had the capability to be able to look at all this stuff, it enabled them to understand exactly what was compromised. Probably one of the biggest challenges for an enterprise could be, hey, we've had attackers, we discovered some attackers in our network. They've been here for 6 months. We have no idea what they've gotten, right? Because then at that point, you're like, you could assume everything's been compromised and you have no way to know or either to refute that or to confirm it. And that obviously makes your incident response job a whole lot bigger because the fire is everywhere, right? It's not, here's my fire, let me go fight it. It's, it's everything. So, but we do see a lot of companies now trying to go through, much like they've done in the past with things like disaster recovery drills, right? A lot of big organizations do those every 6 months or every year. Hey, we're going to fail over this data center tonight, right? Because we have to practice and make sure that everything's working. Same now is true with a lot of security incident response of, okay, what happens if we suddenly find out this system's been compromised? Go, well, what do you do? And that does save a lot of panic and running around in circles when something happens, because not only do you have a document somewhere that tells you what to do, but you've actually done it.
Yeah, I found it really empowering on all of this to do a little bit of threat modeling. That might be new to some folks, but essentially, if you can figure out what does an outside attack look like to us, and then for extra credit, what does an inside attack look like?
Yep.
One of the prominent examples was a subcontractor was phished. And so they didn't even need to compromise the system from the outside. They just compromised his workstation and then moved laterally from there once he was inside.